their Waterloo. And this was placed in his honour. Why in Dublin? Because he was born here. And he was never happy with the fact that he was born here. He said, just because you're born in a stable, Victoria. So he was never happy with the fact that he was born here. Never. Anyway, the park here on the right, Caroline Cronin is her name. And the reason why, and she's the only ambassador with a residence in the park. 5 acres in there. 1927, after we kind of established ourselves as an independent Republican. To the right here, we're going to turn, and this is the papal cross that you're going to see. You might see the deer, sometimes they're right here on the left. This is the papal cross, and this cross was erected here in 1979 for the visit of John Paul II, the first ever pope to come and visit the Irish island. 1979, you can see it there now on the left-hand side. 1 million people, and to be a primary school teacher, we have our second language. To be a primary school, an elementary school teacher in this country, you must be 80% fluent in Irish language. I can speak it quite well, understand it with our channel, our TV, I'm sure you come across it. That you get to enjoy as well. It'll be a short time there. So then we go back down the avenue, down the other way, and we will talk a little bit more about the gates over there. There's a good example. Colleges, universities, they're just even grow as wild as can be. So, whereas before it was manicure within an inch of its life, you know. Here we are. So this is where the people are walking there on the left-hand side is the walled garden. On the left-hand side is the gates to our, what we call Áras an Uachtaráin. There's a mouthful for you. And that is the home of our president. Now, let me explain to you. Our system is a bit like Canada and the UK. We have a prime minister that runs the country. We call the Taoiseach, the chieftain. And I'll tell you about it. Yeah, and Olivia? Yeah, we call her the floozy in the jacuzzi. That's how we refer to her. Now, on the right, that's all the Guinness plant. Legs of happiness. Look, look. So the Victorian period, the Georgian period, every decade from the 20th century and into the 21st. And that's it there on the left-hand side. It's called the Museum of Decorative Arts. Two good things about it. It's open tomorrow, and it's free to go in. There's no charge to our museums and galleries. And the tram line from O'Connell Street, not far from where you're staying, will take you right up. And the tram stop is, wait for it, Museum. Not Guinness, no, it's just say Guinness, not Guinness. Should be, I'd go right, so you'd stay on the tram line, Museum, Houston, and then the next one, the hospital, St. James Hospital, and then you'd walk from there. It's about a 5-minute walk up to Kilkenny in Ireland. 1916 was the Easter Uprising, and 1922 it was all finalised when we got our independence from Britain. And that's when you may find it difficult to find records if you're searching Irish ancestry of any kind, because they were all destroyed. My grandmother, my father's mother, had to go to an attorney when she was getting a passport to prove that she existed, because her birth certificate was destroyed in the Civil War. So she had to get an attorney, and she had to write it that I believe my name is Catherine Conroy. I believe that I was born on this date. And she had to sign an affidavit and get it stamped by an attorney to bring it to the birth certificate to get a brand new birth certificate, because it was destroyed. So that's what happened around the 1930s and 40s after our independence. So it did, you know, it affected us in many, many ways. So when the Civil War broke out in Ireland, it's still tender. It's still tender. So the River Liffey, Cape Street Bridge, one of our Grattan Bridge. Then we come up to the more interesting ones. We have the Millennium Bridge, Dublin posters and that kind of thing. And that's coming up. There you go. Now apparently, according to some travel blog or travel magazine, we were voted one of the most romantic cities in Europe. Well, I laughed at that one. Dublin romantic, hello. So people put padlocks with their names on it on the bridge. We stopped doing that because it was fatiguing and mental. Now, as we get to these traffic lights, I want you to see, can you look to your left? Marcelo will go through it a little bit slowly with the traffic swing happening, so it's good you'll be able to see it. I want you to see there's a little sculpture of two ladies there, where the young girl is sitting. You can kind of see them, the shopping bags at the feet. You see them? Yeah. They're known as the hags with the bags. So over to the other side is, behind those buildings is the Temple Bar area. Lots of restaurants, lots of your farewell meal at Taylor's Street, which is a fantastic show, by the way. You're going to really enjoy it. But if you just wanted something this evening, over behind that Temple Bar, but I'll show you when we're coming back around to get your bearings on it, because the hotel is on the other side of the river, further down east, on that side, on the other side. So we're going to go down O'Connell Street on this way and then come back around a little bit more, and then we'll get you to the hotel. Right, so Mr. Aragon, and he ended up leaving the church, and he brought about the dissolution of monasteries. He shut down, or he burnt down Catholic churches, or converted them from Catholic to Anglican, or you would call Episcopalian. And that was in the 16th century. And Irish people were not allowed to practice their Catholic faith. They were not allowed to educate. And they mad people. Anyway, from the 16th century, we were not allowed to teach our children, educate our children, so to speak the ideas. That's where he gets the biggest monument on the street. Daniel O'Connell. There he is. O'Connell Street. So he gets a name, gets the street named after the big street. So there's the two main things on this street. The spire, you're looking at the Tower of Light. We call this one the stiletto in the ghetto. The eye to the sky. They're the two names for it. It's apparently self-cleaning. Yeah. So this building is the GPO, the General Post Office. Very important in our history. Very, very important. Because it was here in 1960 where the men stood and made the proclamation of Ireland being one nation, and then they barricaded themselves into this bit. Look at the bullet marks on the pillars. They barricaded themselves in here, and as I mentioned, they were executed after that. But that was the beginning of it. Henry Street, this is a shopping area, a shopping street, pedestrianised as well. So they're the two main things on this street, you know, where the post office really is. There is an exhibition in there, if you go and visit. It's not very expensive, and it's quite good about the uprising and about the battle or the fight that went on from 1968. We fought and fought and fought for home rule, but they said no, they took it away from us. So anyway, here at this pillar was the barricade, and it was a curfew. My grandmother lived over to the right. She went into labour, and she got there and they wouldn't let her pass. They said, if you pass by here, we'll shoot you. And this is the maternity hospital right there, look on the right, where she was going to. So she passed it, and they shot her in the leg and the hip. So she gave birth to my mother that night, 1920. And she lived in Conway's pub, that was closed down unfortunately. So before men went into the delivery suite, I don't know they call it labour ward anymore, they call it the delivery suite. Before the men went in with the partner to have the baby, the men in Dublin used to go into Conway's People of Ireland to do that. It was just powerful, and it was a the spire, you can see it in front of you. And we still don't know why we don't know why they put it there. Yeah, I've been in the competition and this is what they come up with. So yeah, great, thanks. We're very grateful. Why? I think it's bending a little bit. There is a light in the top, honestly. Museum of Literature is over here, but that's a painted one. And it's also the post office one. You see the poster right there. It's quite nice to visit. But on the other side of the river, we're going close to your hotel, is really where a lot more things going on. That you can visit tomorrow when you do a free day. And I'll tell you more options to see for eating for dinner this evening. Now, as we go through this, there's over to your left there. Always on the left. Joyce famous writer. We still celebrate every 16th of June every year. It's Bruton's Day. When you were here to see us today, Leopold Bloom, that was the one day of the life of Leopold Bloom in Dublin. And it was also the day you celebrate Day. Now you can still buy stamps, you know, buy whatever you want. It's still a post office. And you can buy lottery. I don't know if you talked about the lottery in Ireland. I never would mention it again. There's a million lottery every day, €1 million. And then Wednesdays and Fridays is even better, it's bigger. Then on Friday we have what they call the Euro Million. All of the somebody here she's like €5 and she won 110. Poor Daniel O'Connell, his buddy Stephen. Thank you.
I'm Calvin.
You've got a reservation for the last 2 weeks. Did it jump off the bus? The four angels are about the four virtues. Fortitude, loyalty, and then the four provinces around them, the Highlands of Ireland. And then above that, all the different South Africa. And you on the side, they know what happened, and those of them half a million. And the Irish come, no, you're fine, you don't know what it is. Trinity College, right in front of us. Trinity College was activated in 1592. Queen Elizabeth I was concerned that the young men who were Protestant were trying to Francis Spain, and they were built not German monasteries, that's not. Most even gave them. And this is the entrance to Trinity College here on the left. You can see the garden and stuff, really crazy looking. So this is the why thing I mentioned at the beginning part. Where no Monet, we haven't mowed the lawn since Spain. And this right inside here is very interesting. That was born as well. This is Trinity College. So in the 1970s it was deemed discrimination because we joined the European Union. And they said it's discrimination. Now I grew up in Dublin, and when I was a teenager I would never cross that gate. I was brought up Catholic at the time. And I thought you just you thought you couldn't. It was changed. Like 22,000 students, 15,000 undergrads, 7,000 postgrads. Now we're inside and we know who's popular. She's been moved over further right. With this spot she has. And we're going to hear about her tomorrow night in Dublin's Fair City where the girls are so pretty. She was a fishmonger. And she sold fish by day and gave counsel to them at night. The oranges and yellows and all that. There's a blue which they melted down lapis lazuli. And they got the only picture we got it was Afghanistan. And how they got it here, probably the Silk Road. And it's just so vibrant as it was when they went to it. It's as vibrant as what you know. It's quite nice. With a selection of all kinds of food. It's fantastic. Hot and cold salads and sandwiches and soup. It's great. And it's not massively expensive either. Anyway, here we're on our route for tomorrow. Suggestions. On the right, the long blue flags line. That the Roman soldier taking Christ out of the garden itself. It's an amazing painting. But also in here is in Paris, lying in his rooms in Paris. And the wallpaper was really bad. It was just garish. Oh, the awful looking painting. There were two faces. window boxes out and grow vegetables in our windows. That was one of the ideas that came up during COVID. Yeah, leave that there. Around to the right, it's like, now this is one of the nicer squares of the 5 Georgian squares that we talk about. So built, this was your city dwelling, you had your big fancy house in the country, and this is where you come into the city. So a few things I'll tell you about this. Coal was delivered every day, like your fires, you can see the chimney. Water was delivered every day, you tend to yourself. And candles were used for light. You had no backyard, no front yard. And this park, 2 foot women come out with your chair. And you'd step into the chair, they would carry you. The Napoleonics were never getting on the Georgians. They were not on. The archways you see is where the horse and carriage have been around the back of the house. Now these are all offices now for, you know, UL companies advertising. They didn't electricity, and running water now. And around the back where the archway is a candle. There's a lane in the number, there's a number with all the doors in black. So they set up numbers on the doors. And painted in different colours, of course, as you can see. On the right, just on the left, particularly that balcony is just a beautiful example of what you can do with these houses. I mean, look at it, it's just fabulous. On the left was the original Catholic University. It was actually into the suburbs of this outside college. It used to be University College, Dublin. On the right is a beautiful church, one of my favorites. It's called the Unitarian Church. In this church, there's a symbol of every religion in the world. There's a piece of art. Everything. There's a blue, the star, the cross of Christ, everything is in here. Because if you are of any faith, sorry, in this church, Unitarian Church, because you're not Caligula, you're not wrong country, wrong church, wrong Europe. So what happens is the city would take an alleyway. So we're coming to us here now on the city tour. I know it's been a bit of a whirlwind, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. We've got all day tomorrow, and I pointed out to you there's some of the galleries and the museums. Now there is one other museum that wasn't there as we passed. It's near the gallery. It's called the National Museum. The other was the Decorative National Decorative this museum. The other was the Natural History Museum. But the other one is the National Museum near Trinity College, near the gallery. And this one, they found bodies in the peat, in the bog. And they have now got them displayed in the museum. And they can tell you all about how they died, how they lived. And it's fascinating. They also have all the artifacts, so they're very fascinating. Now, you can visit here tomorrow. But on the left, you'll see, just immediate left, is St. Patrick's Cathedral. There it is. You can see the spire coming from shore. This is St. Patrick's Park. There's a record dating back to the 5th century of St. Patrick being here, converting people to Christianity. There it is on the left-hand side. It's not very expensive, you can just and you can get to do a tour of St. Patrick. There it is. It's Episcopalian. And if you look at the right here, look at the frescoes on the buildings here on the right. Jonathan Swift was the Dean of St. Patrick, and these are frescoes of Gulliver's Travels, which he wrote. These are actually city dwelling, again, Section 8 houses, believe it or not. And they were built in 1988 when we celebrated. It's an homage to Jonathan Swift. He was the Dean of St. Patrick, where you can shake my hand in a truce. And that's what we call the door of reconciliation. And this is where we get the expression, inside the wall you have to pay a tax. And the first thing, when people got married, the first thing they did was kiss the wall. Because they felt safe, because it kept them safe. This is slightly different. This is Christchurch Cathedral. Now again, it's Episcopalian, Anglican. Even though there's one down there, it's a worship here in the 11th century. This one is 18th century. But at the time, the first of any kind of a place of worship was here in the 11th century because he converted to Christianity. King Sept. And if you can see the display on the ground there on the right was see, that's how they do the Vikings here. The river came right up to these lights. It was quite wide at the time. And because the Viking... So we're going to make our way to the hotel now. Just a little bit of traffic. So we should be there within the next 15 minutes or so, folks. Sorry guys, we're just working at the quickest route to get there. Oh look, some swans at the river on the left. Beautiful. The river looking back across again. We zigzag all the time. So tomorrow anyway, you've got the 3 museums, you've got the gallery, you've got the post office, the general post office I mentioned, for some of the guys there paid. Now just behind over our left shoulder, near the other side of the river where you're going to stay, is Jemison, the whiskey distillery, and that's a guided tour. And to be honest with you, I prefer that one to the other one. It's about €16. Go online and book it. You get a taxi from your hotel, or you can take a walk up if you're just spending the day. For food this evening, it's going to be up there to the bar area, really, where you've got a huge selection of about 50 restaurants in the bar area that you can go and after. So here we have the Millennium Bridge, 2003, the Vinci Building. And I mentioned the Hackney Bridge, so now we're going to just go along the river and make our way to the hotel, and the voices in your head, i.e. mine, will stop. So I know it's been a very quick kind of way around it, and where you're located is perfect. You're right on the river, and close enough to a lot of facilities and communities that will keep you occupied and busy to enjoy your day in Dublin tomorrow. It's just great that it's working out for you, that you are getting to enjoy the day itself at your leisure. I know some people are out or something else, but most of you are staying souvenirs and you're all living directly in Dublin, yeah. So anybody going directly to the United States and not to Canada, anybody going to Canada, that's all right. And just go to the machine, see where you're going. You can use your card or cash. They won't take 50 notes or anything less than that, they will. And you'll get yourself around the city, no problem. There on the left. And all that to the left is the Irish Financial Services Centre, the IFSC, and it's all where, you know, Silicon Land is, all down there on the left, look. And there is the, see the Hart Bridge, that's the Samuel Beckett Bridge, and we call that the quiver in the river, because it looks like a quiver of arrows. This is for laughing at my really bad jokes. And I hope you don't go home too sour-faced about the whole thing. But I'm glad you got to enjoy some of Dublin. And I'm just so pleased for you. You got all day tomorrow. And Epic is over on the left-hand side. Epic is about the emigration of the effect of Irish people around the world for music, sport, culture. See Epic right across that bridge? About 10-12 euro for the entrance. It's won so many awards. And the Jeannie Johnson ship is the famine ship over there. There's an exhibition on that one as well. So now, your hotel is not that far away, folks. Now you really start, that's an early house on the right. That opens at 7:30. Bye.